This promotion was brought to you by Pfizer. Safety guaranteed. Safety not guaranteed.
Ah, yes. Remember Jimmy Kimmel, the bastion of morality. Mostly people remember him during the Coof lockdowns and how he thought Americans who had chosen alternative medicine to try and treat their stuff, treat themselves, deserve to not have ICU beds. Well, I didn't know if you knew this, but he started a terrible podcast due to the writer's strike called Strike Force 5. But apparently, he also had a live show scheduled, and, well, he canceled it because guess what? He got the Coof again. I'm pretty sure this is his second, it's minimum his second, possibly third or fourth time getting it. Now, why is that funny? It's because, well, he was at the forefront of telling everyone to get the jab, and also the most vile in his response to those who didn't get it. And we're going to get into all that after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, in current year, everyone basically has to have VPN. It's a extremely versatile and now basically required tool of browsing the modern internet. And that's why I'm happy to be partnered with Private Internet Access and have been for over a year now. It's a VPN I use, it's a VPN I recommend to my friends and family, and I have a massive discount for my viewers. In short, a VPN allows you to change the location that you may be seen as browsing the internet from. This helps you unlock television shows and movies that might not be available in your area. It allows you to browse the internet anonymously. Heck, even right now, we just saw several countries, for example, Google and Meta are now blocking news in Canada. And, well, how are you going to get your news? Well, you could change your location. VPN helps protect your privacy, secure your data, and bypass network blocks. It comes in extremely important all the time. That's why I have it on my computers, laptops, and mobile phones. Private Internet Access is an open source app with no usage logs, unlimited bandwidth, high-speed global server network, dedicated apps, powerful encryption, and 24/7 live support. Unlock the power of the internet and stay censorship-free by using my link in the description below and get yourself Private Internet Access today at a massive discount. Just a flashback of why, before we get into all the hilarious dunks, this is just, before we get into all the dunks, this is the reason people are being so rough on him. Now, I think it's normal to get a little bit of schadenfreude, especially now when we know everything we know and getting it, we know how to treat it much better than we did before. And most of us have had it multiple times. But Jimmy Kimmel, said that people who didn't get the jab don't deserve ICU beds. Remember that? Ranting about the inflated Coof rates during his opening monologue, Kimmel snarked that Dr. Fauci said if hospitals get any more crowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That's actually, we're talking about perhaps one or two cities. Where I lived, the hospital parking lots were completely empty. Now, I live out in the suburbs, and I know that places like New York and I think Louisiana areas, there were a couple areas where it really was that crazy. But for 99% of hospitals, it wasn't. But anyway, well, I guess I don't know the percentage, but for the vast majority that people saw out there, it wasn't anything like that. Jimmy Kimmel says, that choice doesn't seem so tough for me. It didn't end there. Kimmel went on to mock those who against FDA warnings, took substances that, well, are, the substances. People have the poke having a heart attack? Yes, come right in. We'll take care of you. Unpoked guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy. We've still got a lot of pan dimwits out there, Kimmel scoffed. People are still taking certain other pills. The Poison Control Center has been a spike in calls from people taking livestock medicine. I don't even know if that was ever really proven. I remember that factually the Rolling Stone ran a completely fake news article that a hospital in, somewhere in the Midwest Ohio or something like that, like was turning away people who had like arms fall off because of so many people were taking horsey paste, which was a complete lie. Now, so to fight the Coof, but they won't take the poke it's like if you're a vegan and you're like, no, I don't want a hamburger, but can you give me that Alpo instead? Well, not really. That's not actually a good comparison. But so this, just so we understand, this is the kind of guy that Jimmy Kimmel is, you know. He unleashes an expletive-filled poke PSA video. A message for the anti-poke movement where he has a complete meltdown, right? This is the guy telling everyone, get it, you gotta get it, you gotta get it. Otherwise, you're killing grandma and you're selfish and you get this. Again, my position has always been, it's always been that you do what you want to, what it is that you want to do with your body. Okay? Like, shockingly, I'm very progressive in that way. Okay? But you see, this message has been probably brought to you by Big Pharma. Jimmy and Colbert are the two that will always be remembered for how they acted during this time. It's not a movement, just people who want to make their own decisions. I don't take medical advice from talk show hosts or doctors that dress like doctors to prove they are, in fact, doctors. So everybody in the comment section, of course, pointing out, look, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. That's why it was very easy for me to not say, anything about this. I made my decision. I didn't get it. I had the Coof twice, and for me, it sucked the biggest of balls. I was very sick both times. Very sick. It sucked. I got up, I recorded my videos, and I went back to bed for like 8 straight days. It was terrible. But I survived it. And the second time, it was a little bit easier because I knew what to expect. But I know that if people like, who are immunocompromised, they wanted to try to reduce their... I understand why people made the decisions they made, okay? And I never judge people. I know a lot of people that got the Coof and it was just a runny nose. Or maybe they just lost their taste of smell and they didn't get anything else. It was different for everybody, But it was, when Kimmel is one of my favorite super spreaders. I think that what's interesting is, we're learning more about it. That's what I'll say. So Kimmel had a long history. Hospitals shouldn't treat patients who don't have the poke, all this stuff. Well, here's in May of 2022 is the first time I know for a fact he had it. Jimmy Kimmel mines his Coof recovery for a Trump joke. I drank so much bleach. I tested positive on Monday. By Friday, I just look at my all around my body. Yuck, I'm getting out of here, he quipped, noting that he otherwise had it easy. Yeah, so I mean, this is a guy that is poked and quadruple jabbed or whatever, who pushes on everyone who got it, right? Remember, there was a time, if I remember correctly, if I'm remembering correctly, there was a time where the message was that you wouldn't get it if you got this. I remember seeing clips. If you get it, you won't get sick. Of course, we know that was a lie. If you get it, you can't spread it. Of course, we learned that that wasn't true. Okay? These are two pretty big reasons why you would have got it in the first place. It was the cornerstone of the kind of moral pressure that society had for you to get. I'm sure there are people that are watching me now or watch my videos that got it because they felt pressured. They just wanted to do what's right. Or they wanted to go back to work and they had to get it or whatever. The cornerstone of all of that was, well, I don't want to get, it's even if it helps me not be as bad, be as sick, and I don't want to spread it, so I'll go get it. Well, it turned out that didn't stop you from spreading it either. Okay? So now he cancels his cringe Strike Force 3, which was going to be just the 3 morons instead of all 5, a live show, and he tweeted out, well, Las Vegas, I got the Coof. And sadly, we need to cancel this weekend's Strike Force 3 show. I could never live with myself if I got my hometown friends sick. Thanks to all who purchased tickets. Everyone will get full refunds and we'll try to reschedule if possible. So that's at least the second time he's had it now. So Jimmy Kimmel, who's presumably jabbed and quadruple boosted, has had it the same number of times as me. Some of these replies are just brutal. Nerdrotic just posted, brought to you by Pfizer. The writer's strike should never end. Get boosted soon. I would be embarrassed to tweet this after my 7th jab. AKA, we couldn't sell enough tickets. Kimmel's career rest easy wheezy. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I mean, everybody in these comment sections, is just absolutely dunking on him. Now, of course, I hope he gets better soon and I can dunk on him more. You need 15 more boosters and to wear 25 masks. That should do it. Your best joke ever. I'm sure the 7th booster will do the trick, Snowflake. I mean, now that like Twitter is like, now that the one thing I can say about Elon taking over Twitter is a lot of like the really far leftoids, they did leave. And these guys are not getting any support. They tweet, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel blocked me 30 seconds after I responded to one of his tweets. That's how that like here's Tyler Fisher. Darn, I wish there was a poke for that could have prevented it. If Trump makes one, please make sure to shame and taunt every human who doesn't inject 5 into their veins. I mean, there is everybody in these responses. Everybody. I mean, like, I can't. I mean, no one cares. Jimmy, why aren't you poked? I mean, and that, like, it's just absolutely brutal. And if you view the quote tweets, oh, here's Catter, don't worry, I bet your 8th poke is going to be a miracle. Flashback to when Jimmy Kimmel made a children's book on how the poke would protect you from the Coof. Kimmel just announced that he has it again. How many boosters have you had, Jimmy? Please provide proof, because if you're not up to date, you're an anti-poker and don't deserve a hospital bed. Sorry, those are the rules, Wheezy. Guys, get the poke. It's working great. What an amazing poke. Quadruple poked and fully boosted, Kimmel catches the Coof again. I mean, everybody is absolutely raining dunks on him. And look, again, I take no joy in somebody getting sick and this, but he was so insufferable about people that chose at the time to not get it. And it turns out now this is at least his 2nd time. Perhaps maybe he's had more that he hasn't tweeted about, or maybe there are more. I just don't really care to go through the history. So he's no different than me. But he says I didn't deserve an ICU bed. Well, get better, Wheezy.